As President Trump enters the final sprint to the midterms, he is escalating his hardline stance on immigration, saying overnight he plans to sign an executive order that would end birthright citizenship. It would be his most dramatic move yet on immigration. With Election Day just 1 week away, President Trump is trying to fire up his core supporters to turn out for Republican candidates nationwide. Topping his agenda, immigration, telling Axios on HBO that he plans to sign an executive order removing the right to citizenship for babies of non-citizens and unauthorized immigrants born on U.S. soil.
Yes, we're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States for 85 years with all of those benefits. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it has to end.
The move sure to set up a major legal battle over whether the president has the power to change birthright citizenship. The 14th Amendment saying all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The president making his position very clear.
It was always told to me that you needed a constitutional amendment.
Right.
Guess
14th
what?
Amendment.
You don't.
You don't.
It comes as the president appeared on Fox News overnight, escalating his threats against the migrant caravan, with the Pentagon announcing the deployment of 5,200 additional troops to the southwest border by the end of the week.
I called up the military. This caravan is not, they're wasting their time.
Those 5,200 troops actually outnumbering the roughly 4,000 migrants making up that caravan and nearly equaling the number of U.S. personnel fighting ISIS in Iraq, but far less than the roughly 14,000 American troops in Afghanistan. The troops will provide logistics support for border protection officers already there, all aimed at keeping the caravan's migrants and refugees from crossing the border.
We're going to have tents. They're going to be very nice, and they're going to wait. And if they don't get asylum, they get out.
That caravan, made up largely of families and children, is still nearly 1,000 miles away from the U.S. border. Mr. Trump tweeting Monday, "This is an invasion of our country, and our military is waiting for you."
Well, the midterms are less than a week away now, Kristen, I guess it's a week away now. So this issue of immigration is clearly one the president's seizing on. He talked about getting rid of birthright citizenship. That's something that's in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, but he's saying he can fix this, in his words, by executive order.
Well, look, Savannah, that's a big question, right? I mean, there's no doubt this executive order, if he issues it, would face significant legal challenges, and it would force the courts to have a vigorous debate over the 14th Amendment, which basically guarantees citizenship for people who are born here, no matter who their parents are. Now, Axios notes that few immigration and constitutional scholars believe it's within the president's power to change birthright citizenship, but all of it potentially setting up yet another legal battle for this White House, Savannah and Hoda.
Yeah, maybe it's just a matter of doing it, signing the order, and then waiting for the legal challenge. That could be the strategy, Kristen. Thank you very much.